Hi friends, welcome to Sacred Earth Essentials. I just wanted to give you a brief tidbit of information and introduce one of my favorite topics to you, which is herbalism. Herbalism is one of my main healing modalities that I practice both for myself as well as teaching it to other people. Herbalism is not something that I heard of growing up. In my family, I remember the story of my great-grandmother living to be 96 years old, and I met her once. I remember that her method for living to be 96 was that she swore by eating a clove of garlic per day. Now, looking at some of today's studies on garlic, one may conclude that there could be some truth to that eating garlic daily can improve our longevity by increasing the antiviral capabilities of our immune system, which is especially important nowadays. The second thing that I remember learning related to the practice of herbalism as a child was using oatmeal on bee stings. And today we know that there are soothing properties associated with using milky oats, both internally as well as externally. Growing up, though, I did not have a magical mother who was making tinctures and salves and teas in the kitchen. I did not have an ancient grandmother or great-grandmother who taught me about using plant medicine or limpias or anything associated with being una curandera. These were things that were pulled out of me, that were inside of my heart. I always had a very strong relationship with nature. Although I grew up in the suburbs of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, we were lucky enough to live on the end of a cul-de-sac, and our backyard connected with the property of what was then called Robert Morris College. So I was always in the woods, and I was always mixing things together and learning about gardening. I still remember pulling my first homegrown carrot out of the ground and how satisfying that was. I also remember reading many books, both fictional and non-fictional, about not only plants themselves, but about people that lived close to nature and various cultures, both non-fictional as well as mythical. All of these different things fed my love of nature. My favorite thing to do was to hide in the silver maple in our front yard and read books. But again, I was not introduced to herbalism till later in life. In fact, when I told my mother that I was going to graduate school to study health arts and sciences and that I was studying herbalism, she told me that it was stupid and that I was just studying a bunch of dumb hippie SHI and that it wasn't going to lead me anywhere. Unfortunately, I let these words sink in and switched my master's program to a master's degree in psychology and counseling. One of the positive unintended consequences of this is that I've been able to learn both worlds. I've been able to learn both healing modalities of psychotherapy as well as herbalism. And the cool thing is that they are both strongly interwoven in the field of shamanism. Traditional healing modalities of indigenous peoples throughout the world have utilized elements that we can find in modern day psychotherapy as well as in herbalism, both of which make up, in my opinion, the foundation of shamanism. So herbalism is the study and use of plants to improve your health. I am not a doctor. I am not diagnosing, prescribing, or claiming that anything that I tell you about is going to prevent or cure you. I am here to share my own experience. I am here to share the knowledge that has been imparted to me. I am here to share bits of my energy with you in hopes that it will help brighten your day lighten your load, and all around make the world a better place. Plants has been a modality that works for me. I always knew that there was something healing about plants, and I always remembered hearing, "Let thy medicine be thy food. Let thy food be thy medicine." It made sense to me. It was logical. And science tells us that is true. So I began studying plants by picking up a book called the Herbal Pharmacy by James Duke. And this book influenced me to find people who were already renowned herbalists, people who were already practicing medicine. I kind of grew up in a little bit of a sheltered bubble in Moon Township, Pennsylvania. And so when I discovered that there are people all over the world still practicing plant medicine and that it's very popular today, there was no other choice than to follow that path. So it was in Vermont that I was introduced to my first herbalists, and have since then been studying herbalism and how to use plants to enhance our health. Not without the use of allopathic medicine, but as a complementary system to our modern medicine system. So again, herbalism, the study and use of plants for enhancing your health. Some plants that we will look at throughout our studies here at Sacred Earth Essentials are going to include things like garlic, comfrey, mullein, hawthornberry, elderberry, lemon balm, tulsi, and the list goes on. Many of our modern pharmaceuticals have even been derived from plant medicine. So we will not only study the scientific findings of plants, but we will also study the myths and the traditions that come along with these plants. And when we see how the science and the myth and the history all intersect, there's healing in that too. I have much to say about plants, but I'm going to go ahead and end this here. If you have any questions or any topics that you are particularly interested in that you would like for me to discuss, please feel welcome to comment below or email me, Stephanie, STEF, as in Frank, ANIE, at sacredearthessentials.com. Remember, the earth is sacred. You are too. Take care.